Hey, KMS Rundown listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music.
Gentlemen, we made it through another week. I'm here with Ziggy and Patrick Ford of The Drips. Red couldn't make it this week because he's getting his hair done. So how we
I'm starting to think Red, like, it's always like we're two ships passing the night. Like, does he have the problem with me? Or I know I've been gone for a while, and I got to get the joke out. Test one. Can you hear me, Sheldon? How's my audio? Something you're supposed to do before the show with everyone involved.
That's why I got this mic. Mick sent me this mic because I was like, I can't risk what happened last night.
So we apologize to everyone that had to suffer through last week. It's almost like you guys missed my expertise, my technical expertise, but oh well, we're here tonight.
I'm not saying that's the point, but like there is a thing that I can't talk about with court orders and stuff with you two on the same show, but I can't talk about it.
Yeah,
so,
it's my weekend with you. This
oh my god,
we're on an every other schedule.
You get the holiday coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had 3 shows this week. 3.5 because we had the unnamed show. Shout out Miss Peaches because apparently Portnoy fed her gum and she almost died. But
that's a thing.
That's a thing. That's neither here nor there.
Good start.
So we'll go to Monday. So we had Monday. We finally had a show, and then we had Blind Mike and Mick. And you never know what Mick you're going to get. You're either going to get Mick, I'm going to kill everybody, where Mayo is scared in the corner being a little bitch, or you're going to have on Mick.
Yep.
And it was a pretty good show. And then we got to the end, and Mick was so upset. Ziggy, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it started with, I think Kirk, like right away was like, all right, it's a tense week. We're going into Portland. And then right after that, Mick's like, Kirk, you don't seem too stressed about Portland, actually. And Kirk's like, no, we're plenty stressed. And then it was like 2 minutes later, Mick said something like how Kirk's been having a lot of fun lately on the show with Coleman and Justin. It's like, what show are you
watching?
Yeah, I agree. It was a good Mick performance because we got crazy Mick, but we didn't get the insane blow up. The insane blow up is fun, like walking out of the studio and screaming back and forth at Mike, but it's not. This was like just nice, right in the middle. Right.
This is the best Mick. Where he comes out, he's normal. He makes those little comments that don't make any sense. Like, yeah, you've been having a lot of fun with these two. Like, yeah, he's about to throw him out the window right now. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. But at that point where he started talking about his brother, and the second he said like $200, I knew the exact direction he was going. And I'm like, he is going to be pissed off that the guy gave him 2 C notes. And lo and behold, livid.
So he watched his dog for 4 days, and he's like, I walk in and there's like $200. Like, what the fuck is this? He knew what he was doing. What was he doing, Mick? Even if he felt bad for you, I would take it. If I was a millionaire and I walked in and was like, oh my God, my dipshit brother's giving me $200, I'll take this. I wouldn't take half of it and overtip the pizza guy. Like,
that's the best part. That's the best part.
That is Mick in a nutshell. He's like, he knew what he was doing. What was he doing?
I don't think he was. Maybe he was dog sitting, but I know there's a snake involved too. I think it was more snake sitting.
How sitting, snake sitting, dog sitting, gerbil sitting.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Like, you know what? I stuck it to him. I only took 100.
Remember
him the other 100.
Remember Cheeks and his crazy mom, and he was like, "No, trust me. Like you don't get it. Like she manipulates like no one else." That's like how Mick treats Al. Like he's like, "You don't get how much of a mastermind this is. Like this guy manipulates so much. He gave me $200. You don't understand. That is a weird amount of money to give someone." Now imagine the flip side. If Al gave him nothing, how mad would Mick have been if he just left him no thank you, no money, nothing?
What's the monetary value? What's the number of money that he would be like, this is just right? Because if he left him $20, he'd be like, I'm sitting here for 4 days.
Zone
What, I got
the
$5
Goldilocks
a
Zone
day?
is probably 126 for me. Just something random, like nonsensical.
And you remember, like he also said that Al's dog has also bitten like 4 people. So technically, with the law, that dog should be put down. So I mean, it would have actually been funnier to get Mick to go insane if like Al gave him like just a random number and then itemized it and put a monetary value in all of it.
He selected stores.
Oh my God, Mike or Mick would have fucking went insane.
Yeah.
Even more than he did.
Yeah.
This motherfucker left me $200. What a piece of shit. I mean, what the fuck?
But then he flipped it and he was like, no, it's definitely his wife. It was his wife. She likes
she's
me,
the breadwinner. Yeah.
She's the breadwinner, but she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, but I know they were
Yeah,
having
this is
conversations and he was, yeah.
It
And that's
was
crazy, Mick. I've said it before. Like, is it real? Is it not? Like, that is 100% real, authentic. Just
Well,
pure
like the
creepiness.
week before he initially, like, I think it was the week before kind of the producer search was over, but when he was coming back in for that one day where he stormed out, I randomly played golf with him like the week before that, and he was just the most normal human being of all time. And then he goes in there and is like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not getting paid, but he's one of my favorite people.
Well,
yeah, that's where I got this beautiful mic from, so we could hear Sheldon today. Mick sent it to my house. He's a class act.
Thank you, Mick. Yeah, I mean, a golf outing is kind of similar to a dinner party, so that's where Mick really
True.
thrives.
Very true. It makes sense now.
So it's a natural conversation.
And like that whole show on Monday was completely normal. And then Mick just went off that his cocksucker brother left him $200. And Kirk's like, God, just when I forgot that you're fucking crazy. and then Mick's like, no. He's like,
Well,
you know what he was doing. He knew
It
what he
wasn't
was
just
doing.
that. It was the parents. And well, he brought up Cancun again. Like Kirk's like, well, how's things with Jess? And he's like, it's a little rocky. She's going, but I am letting her go to Cancun. So I guess there's that. I'm so graciously letting her go to Cancun with her. entire
I've
family.
said it like 5 times. I'll say it again. Someday he's going to look back at that and be like, fuck, I should have taken full advantage of that. God damn it.
Well, someday
But
it's
that-
going to be like, that's the reason that we're no longer together. Really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One of the best lines came from Mike, like earlier in the show. Mick had started something like early on, and Mike was like, oh, yeah, I just don't have the energy for this fight today.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have
Yeah.
it in me.
I remember that. He
And
also
then-
is. Sorry, go ahead, Sheldon.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's talking about like her birthday, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did take her out to a nice place." He's like, "Oh, where do you take her out? Just a
Cheap.
cheap place around the corner."
Wow, they've been going out for how long?
Yeah,
What are you
7
supposed
years.
to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
7
And I also think he
years.
said he didn't make a stink about Cancun because it was near her birthday. It's like such a magnanimous guy, like just letting
if it
her
was
do her own thing, living her life.
It was in September. He would have lost his shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, the show was great, except he tried to shoehorn Ziggy not being on the rundown, which actually really irritated
Didn't
me.
like that.
And then he tried to play it off that he was worried about Ziggy, which I fucking hated. Ziggy, your thoughts?
Well, I am worried about Mick's Crohn's disease. I mean, if you can't be going in and out of the hospital, the thing
Doc-
that actually the thing was the red flag was he sees his doctor once a year, but he's going to the hospital every
Brother.
weekend. I've said it
Up
before.
that.
Like I have a similar, not quite serious, but I have a similar thing as Mick. I mean, when it was bad, like I was on call. I texted my doctor like, you need someone that has good communication, right? I feel like we're back in trips in the office, but good communication. You need a good leader and a doctor. But that was a red flag. So I am also concerned about Mick because
I mean,
get a better GI doc.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. And it's not something I want to focus on. I said it on the trips, but I didn't shit for 9 days. I saw the doctor 4 times in that stretch. Like, he needs to really take that stuff. You got to up the doctor's visits a little bit. I'm good now, by the way. But yeah, he's got to take that shit more serious. No pun
Try
intended.
Humira. Try Humira, Mick. It's just 2 shots, a shot every 2 weeks, right in the stomach.
Also,
45.
Oh no, that's why I don't want to do it. Well, I want to do Ozempic, but a shot in the stomach, like
No,
what
you
if-
don't feel it. Or I do the thigh, but it's a tiny little needle. You don't feel
That's
it.
how my EpiPen goes. Yeah.
okay, we're done with this. You guys live in Mass, and you have shitty health care,
Oh,
and your governor only cares about immigrants. Oh, but whoa,
Where are we going?
illegal immigrants. It's fine. It's over. Go somewhere else where your government actually likes you. Shout out Montante.
Anyway, whatever that was.
not from the agenda.
That was not.
I didn't send you a.
That was not on the rundown.
I'm hosting. Oh no, it's on.
That was not on the rundown.
I'm running the rundown. It's on the rundown.
I'm on my wife's healthcare.
One other thing, we had the stream crash on Monday, and then it went to Rumble, and that was, I think it was my second Rumble experience. But the ads on Rumble are tremendous. Like, it's like, don't you hate when your flashlight is not a lightsaber? And there was one about like powering your electricity off grid, and
I got a bunch
obviously
of
there's
Trump
the
ones.
Trump ones, yeah, the
Yeah.
Trump ones. But it's like this guy with a flashlight, like cutting his car in half, like it's a lightsaber. I don't know.
This is a Rumble podcast. I don't know if you heard, but they are the main sponsor for videos for the Barstool.
Rumble is tremendous because you can
It is.
listen.
Rumble partner.
You can at least on my Android, I can play it with the
Yeah.
screen off. for the most part. You can't go back, but you can pause it. And big Rumble fans here.
Yeah,
and we got Rumble with Rumble. We got Justin talking about his right to protest the Jimmy Garoppolo trade.
He dies on a hill, that's for sure. That didn't really click, but yeah, we're Rumble partners. Hashtag.
Hell of a show. Okay, so we got Monday covered, and then was it Tuesday or Wednesday? No, Tuesday there wasn't a show.
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
we got that 5-minute show.
Yeah, where Kirk came on, and he basically said how much he hated Coleman and Justin, and Coleman fucked up. But Justin was the only one worried, and Coleman's like, when Kirk asked him, "What are you worried?" and then he paused, and then Kirk was ready to fucking shoot him in the head, like shoot him. and then he's all by himself. He's like, I'm on my own. The show's on my own.
Yep.
And then he's like, they fucked up. And then you could just tell Justin was freaking out. And Coleman was like, eh. So we had a really short show. And then all of a sudden Thursday came and we had a regular show and everything was fine.
Well, so on that Wednesday, I mean, it's a show. We're gonna talk 20 minutes on a 5-minute show here. That's what we're doing, the rundown.
Heck yeah.
How would you know? Are you on the rundown?
Sometimes, occasionally. I gave up the rundown for Lent, so Lent's almost over, so I broke it. You said like how Sheldon, how Kirk was like, don't you get, like, do you understand, Coleman, what you did wrong? And he paused, and at that point, I paused my video, and I was like, all right, this is a big moment in show history, because what Coleman is about to say could really change the impact, the trajectory of his career at Barcelona, at KMS. And he's like, yeah. This is laid back Coleman. I know. I guess that's just who he is, just super laid back, sometimes to a fault. At that point, it was definitely to a fault.
Well, if I could say one thing on the Wednesday show, I'd just like to say this. Moment of silence for Mutt, who was supposed to be on the show on Wednesday. Unfortunately, he has shingles. I hope he's doing better. That would have been a great show with Mutt. I like having him in there. But I thought that would have. There was a minute, the exact moment you paused, when in my head I was like, "This is it. He's done before Portland." Like if he was like, "I don't know what the big deal is," he would have jumped across the desk, ran into that room, and just beat the living shit out of him. I hope we find out like someday what was. I'm sure I don't know if they'll talk about it, but I wonder what the amendments.
I think they will Saturday tomorrow.
Oh, he did say that. That's right.
He said they'll do it Saturday.
So I have some sources that if they are correct in understanding what the issue is, they're saying is overblown. Jeff D. Lowe felt obligated to tweet. I actually have it up because I was just one of the most hardo tweets of all time. Was just informed what this is. Can't spoil it, but my reaction was, what? Followed by a very long laugh. Insane. Just total hardo Jeff tweet. Had to make sure people knew. And then I also have sources in the chat that Jeff is in. I'm not in this chat. I've heard through the grapevine that Jeff, and I quote, said it was a very funny fuck up and kind of a big deal. So loose lips, Low, kind of just so like we don't know what it was, but we do know that Jeff D. Lowe knows what it was, and he wants us to know about it.
Hold on. It might have been a big deal, but you can't have everyone like Kirk and Justin. You need to have the bro like Coleman. You're like, meh, like we'll get it done. If everyone's gonna freak out and lose their minds, nothing's gonna get done. You need that fucking rock that's just not gonna be like, well, I mean, we can still do this and not freak out, not fire everyone, not kill everyone. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, like Coleman being kind of just laid back, a dummy, and I don't mean that as a hate, but like he wasn't losing his mind. He's like, yeah, we'll get it done. It was a big deal, but yeah, we're fine. That helps, because if everyone felt the same way as Kirk and Justin, there wouldn't have been a show Thursday. There wouldn't have been a show today.
Kirk did a 180 for sure, which was nice. Thursday morning.
A complete 180.
Telling Mike he loves him. But I think Pat, you're going to say how good of a nickname Loose Lips Low was. That was like right off the top. Didn't even write that down.
There was a couple of things I was going to touch on that. For one, Sheldon, good pointing out that Coleman's the rock of the show. That'll age well.
You motherfucker! I did not.
See, it's unfortunate. And then point number 2, as a member of that chat, Ziggy, I believe I have to go in and check the backlog. I don't know if that was necessarily said.
It puts me in a quote. And you're not my source. You're not my rat on this one.
I understand that, but I think that might be a fabricated story. And thirdly, off the record, shout out to Jeff for mentioning one of his favorite Minifans was me today. Totally. We'll go to the Friday show at some point.
I think the direct quote was before.
Did he say that? I thought I only listened once.
Yeah, you were before the rat allegations. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I knew I should have went back and replayed that, but all right, never mind. Move on.
Yeah, we did get the 180. Like, this is why, again, cliche. That's why Kirk is Kirk. Like, you expect one thing, you get the other. We expect fire and brimstone on Thursday morning. And it's like, he literally starts with, Mike, I love you.
Oh my God.
Mike was like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in love with you. Okay. Like, what's going on?
It's like, Mike would make a great parent.
Oh my God. Yeah, I honestly, when that started, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a short show. No, it was all good.
Yep.
And then he just got Mike flustered right away. I'm like, okay, we're on to a regular show. So we had Blind Mike, which I always love when Blind Mike's in, and we had who the hell did we have?
Tim and Ken.
Oh, unemployed Tim and Ken.
Yes, he made sure to get that one right up the.
Yeah, he wanted to be forthcoming with that.
So he's basically just a better version of Gus and whoever else.
Careful.
What? Why? Who's the other one?
Just Gus. That's the only one
is self-employed. You saying that
yep.
and acting like he's unemployed
that's
is
projecting.
bullshit. Patrick
That's projecting.
Ford.
Projecting.
He is self-employed. He is not unemployed. This is bullshit.
This is new, and I'm still working kinks, so something must have happened there. Great point, great catch. Yeah, so it's Gus and Tim. Those are the two unemployed.
Sheldon is the master.
The only two.
John.
Only two unemployed Minifans ever. It's just those two.
Oh, so they were a great pairing, though. I didn't know Tim and Canton was going to be in. I'm like, oh shit, Tim.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
I like that. I liked him.
And it was a good flow because he has good repertoire, whatever that fucking word, like vehemently, whatever. Words are all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Keep going. That was unbelievable.
And it was a good show. And then Tim also brought gifts. Ziggy, do you have thoughts on the gifts?
Well, I was actually going to ask you guys because this is the rare show I know you always say it, Sheldon. No, I work. I can't actually watch. Like I was doing some work. I was doing some work around the house. I asked Mutt if he could come help me out. I had to put in a bathroom fan. I had to crawl up in the attic, but Mutt got the shingle, so he couldn't help.
Was that the first time I couldn't actually watch it? No?
Excuse me?
Was that the first time you used that?
No, probably not.
Okay. Guarantee it wasn't.
Definitely not.
I know.
So I couldn't actually watch it. So what were I mean, we know the magazine, but what were the shirts? That's what I couldn't put together.
He thought Mutt was going to be in there, so it was a Yukon shirt.
It was 4 months. Okay.
Yeah. And then they said it might be too small for Mike. But maybe he got Mike one too. But I wasn't watching on YouTube this day. I was on my phone. I couldn't tell. Did he actually present Mike with a whoopie pie?
Yeah, like a 2-pound whoopie pie.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's a foodie.
Because he's fat.
Yeah. Someone, I won't say who, someone wanted me to make sure they questioned the validity of Mike saying he fit into an XL shirt. I can't say who said that, but someone wanted me to bring that up.
Was he on the show today?
Nope.
No.
Because that guy does definitely not fit into an XL shirt.
Down 10 pounds.
And you're down 4.6.
4.7.
Oof.
Good morning.
All right. I'm getting us off the rails here.
No, but okay. I like the Tim show a lot. I mean, I hope now that Tim's out of work for a short period of time. He's on his 5th job interview, which seems wild. His 5th, like, for the same job. Yeah. He's been there 5 times. I like Tim on the show more. I always like Tim when he's on.
Yeah. No, Tim keeps everything flowing. He'd be like if DC and MHB weren't total pieces of shit douchebags.
Wow.
Because he is like the show the entire time and hasn't gotten butthurt about anything and has just flowed with the rest of the show. Like Tim and Canton is the best original Minifan, and he understands the show, and he doesn't talk about fucking EEI all the time like some other certain douchebag, and he gets the fans and he gets all the topics, so he keeps everything flowing, and it's a good show when Tim's in.
I love how he was like, I don't watch the network because
I was gonna say maybe that's it was a little snooty when he said that at first, and that's like if you remember the OGs, the whole thing against them was like they're a little too highbrow, they're gatekeepers. I started getting that sense, but then he pulled it back. He was like, yeah, I just would get addicted. I don't know, maybe it was a little snooty for me, but I do like Tim, and go ahead.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I feel like you're going to challenge me on what I was saying.
I understand Tim's
I accept
point.
the challenge.
Exactly. Tim is 100% accurate. I inject the consistency podcast into my veins like it's heroin. Like there is a point where it's addiction, and sometimes it's better to step away.
And that's not even the bad part. Like Ford watches fucking Meeting of the Minds. Yeah, I mean that's fucked up. So if Tim's like, I can't do it, it'll consume my whole life.
I got salesman BS on that one, but I do think the real reason he can't watch the network is he's still busy notating all the baseball names from Coleman Stewart. So, and I had to say I'm looking forward to a show because I'm a fan of life hacks. He was flying a little loose with the term hack when he was talking about using an envelope as a notepad. Like that's just a piece of paper. Like that's not a hack. That's just something humans do.
Everyone does. Yeah.
Right. Except I have to say Jeff D. Lowe door dashing a notebook for $12 so he could take notes on Mayo's show. Like
that's crazy.
The biggest waste of money of all time. Like doesn't every hotel have a little notepad in it?
And plus we're not even on Friday's show because we haven't even talked about the porn.
All right, I just had to get that out. It related.
Yeah, Mayo sucks. We all agree that.
We'll get
Save it for later.
I just had to get that out there. I could have used an envelope.
So I mean, honestly, Girls Gone Wild, that brought back memories for me. I'm sure not for Ziggy because he's like very conservative.
No. Comedy Central late night commercials would come on after midnight. Yeah, no, I remember.
I think I saw infomercials on Fox News. I'm like, my God, I gotta go buy the tape. I need to see these whores, and then I never did. But the commercials, oh Jesus,
I'm much younger. I was on the internet.
Ah, Jesus, you make me sick.
I printed out a picture once of my first. Kept it out of my bookcase. Yeah. No, I know the feeling.
Honestly, I didn't know 1-900 numbers weren't supported anymore. Justin knew that very fast.
Well, that's what I was confused. So the magazines that Kirk got, were they new because they called a number? Was that
no? They were like
surprised
that. No, they were surprised they're still active. That was from an old one.
Gotcha.
Why? And that chick didn't sound Asian, but I'm not sure how Asians sound.
I don't think you would know, Sheldon.
Oh no, she didn't sound Asian.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying that in a stereotypical way, but like when you're doing a fake promotion, like you got to lean into it a little bit.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hello, how are you?"
I was like, "This sounds like a white chick trying to be Asian," but I'm like,
the Christian Fourier, yeah.
But I'm like, but I still want to call it, but I didn't. Because they did on the show. So that was actually a public service.
Saved you a penny. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tim said that he put more work into his calling radio stations, documenting all that than his real job, which I can relate to. Because, doing the rundown. When I do the rundown, so funny. It's kind of a part-time job. So I do get that. I do get where Tim's coming from.
Yeah. Oh, do you get where it's coming from? Because Tim listens to the show way more than you.
Well, it's honestly probably the reason. That's probably the reason he does not listen. Does not listen to the network is because he'd rather spend his time re-listening to KMS. Which I do that. I don't listen to every network show because I'd rather go back and re-listen to the main show episode than listen to something that I might not care about.
I had a difficult conversation the other day. It was like, I don't even know what time it was, but I had my AirPod in. My wife is like, she's like, his show goes on every day at like 9:00, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, what are you listening to? And it was literally the consistency podcast. I was like, well, it's this guy Steve. And she's like looking at me like, what have I done? I'm like, oh, crap.
It's her own fault. She married you. I mean, it's too late now. Well, I mean, not really, unless I'd fight her for alimony though when it comes to that time.
Certainly, yeah, I have lawyers ready.
That's what I told mine. So.
We have talked about when my son gets 18, just going our separate ways and just probably get stale. Not stale, but I mean, I'm a lot like after 18 plus years of like having to deal with me because like I'm always like this, so it's difficult for her to like kind of ever get away from me. So I mutually agreed when my son's 18, just I'll buy an RV.
I mean, you won't. You won't have teeth then, so it's gonna be hard for you to find someone else.
Nope. Oh, I will never ever date again. It just seems like so much effort. Wouldn't you just rather like live in an RV and live at a campground with like a dog or something? Hook up a Prius and just drive for Uber to pay your bills. Like that's the dream. Maybe just me. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here in the middle of nowhere. I'm not gonna drive to a state park run by the federal government. Are you fucking kidding me? God, you got so much to learn.
I do.
All right, unnamed show. Let's get it back on the rails here.
No, Sheldon's gonna love this. Whitney went on a liberal rampage. So
it was a great spin zone.
The unnamed show. So it was a good show Thursday because we had Tim and Canton, who also you glossed over because you were such an asshole and love him that Mayo's so great, blah blah blah. Tim and Canton said what it was like. What a piece of shit Mayo is.
Well,
and he went off for multiple minutes about it, which hit so close to home because I've been saying this for multiple shows.
It's like therapeutic.
It's very therapeutic. I'm like, I'm not the only one. And then that ended it. And Tim and Canton is the nicest guy. So when he is yelling about how much Mayo is a piece of shit, that really hit it close to home. But
permission
that's
to
what.
speak?
No,
Permission
not really. So after that show, it was over, and then we went to the unnamed show. The unnamed show had Dave Portnoy.
I'm going back. Just to be clear. Just to be clear. And I'm not going to defend Mayo, but I just went on the record.
I don't know how you could.
Tim did not go on and on and on about the reasons you said. He went on because he doesn't like. This is what I didn't get. He doesn't like Mayo because he's a jealous person, not because he's a selfish person or only cares about himself, but I don't know. Is it? Sort of. Who is Mayo jealous of? Like anyone else talking?
Yeah.
I guess it was just a weird way.
We'll get to Friday show. Don't you fucking worry, dude.
We're just gonna let you cook. We're just gonna let you go.
There. No, we're all cooking together on this one. We're all in the kitchen.
So we got that show over and we went to the unnamed show. So apparently Whitney doesn't know how to order fucking steak. Like you always order steak medium rare because it either come out medium or it'll come out maybe a little bit rare. You don't order medium because cooks are fucking dumb. And then if you order medium, they'll come out medium well. Medium well is trash. Medium is trash. You need medium rare. And even if it does come out medium rare, Whitney, which you don't like, you fucking eat it, you dumbass, because it was bought by somebody else. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? You can eat a fucking steak raw and it's not going to kill you. Why would you interrupt somebody buying all the meals and be like, no, medium, medium, medium. It's not going to kill you. It's not raw chicken, Whitney, you dipshit. You fucking played in Russia. The food was way fucking worse than a goddamn high-end steakhouse in Arizona.
Sounding a lot like a vaxxer right now. A lot like a vaxxer.
No, I'm not a vaxxer.
A lot like a vaxxer. Pat had his finger
up. Hey,
up.
Ziggy, your turn, asshole.
Well, if I may, I'd just like to point something out because I'm in a similar situation. 2 points. There are many occasions. So I agree with you. I'm a medium rare guy through and through. Every once in a while, a medium rare guy, a cook, will do the opposite. They'll think they're overdoing it, so they'll underdo it, and then it can become, rare. And that's not my cup of tea. Second point, Whitney's wife, along with mine, is pregnant. Medium rare, too rare is dangerous for the young fetus. These are things you have to think about. So he's been living the last 7 to 8 months in this world of, I can't do medium rare out of the risk for my unborn child, whether it be male or female, because he doesn't know the gender yet. I remember that. So I sympathize with him a little bit on that. Sheldon looks like he's probably going to sympathize. Doesn't that work?
Yeah, sure. Empathize.
I empathize with him.
Sorry, ADD. Sorry.
I don't think that was it either. I feel for him. But anyway, Ziggy, go ahead. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
No, I mean, I'm the boob here. I had a written joke about your teeth. I was going to say Pat can't eat. He needs his steak blended because of his bad teeth. But I already used a teeth joke, so I got to find some new material. I'm not a big. I don't really care. I don't really care about steak one way or the other. I just enjoy it. But Sheldon, what are your thoughts on medium plus? Is that going to get you riled up?
I don't even know what the fuck
I don't know.
I
don't know what it is. I figured you'd get triggered by that.
To order a steak, it's fucking rare, medium, well done.
Medium.
Not fucking medium rare plus or medium plus.
I
They
did
can't
like.
mention
I
that
did.
once
We'll go
in a
back.
while.
I'll bring
That's
us
not
back
a
again. I'll bring us
fucking
back. I'll bring us
thing.
back. I did like Kirk just like. I feel like the early episodes he was kind of political about Barstool stuff, and this one he was just like, yeah, Caroline is dreadful. She's absolutely dreadful.
She's the worst. And like that's where Dave drives me nuts, because like Dave knows that she's not talented. There are like the percentage of people who think she's actually funny are kidding themselves, and it's not. And then Dave's like, no, she is. Like, he's still afraid that she's gonna go. Like, I don't know what he's afraid of, but yeah, she's dreadful. And I also like how he brought up the point when they got to the police officer fund in the beginning, which totally went off the rails. It started with like a nice tribute to like the police officer, and it was like, well, you got to remember all cops
Kirk
are
just,
great.
he could not help himself. He had to. He had to.
Well, he brought up that point. His point was legitimate about the people who are like doing the bail funds back in the day. And then like Dave took it. And he's like, well, it's just a reminder, like not the right time for it, but not all cops are great. It's like, well, yeah, that one just died.
When Dave's the
Like,
level-headed
easy.
guy in the room, yeah.
Yeah, he also didn't need to fucking say that. No shit.
Correct.
Everyone in every profession isn't a great person. He didn't need to throw that in, the asshole, because he had a fucking employee talking about Ellie Schnitt literally had some psychopath on talking about protesting burning down police stations, and Portnoy didn't say a fucking word about it. That was the most unfucking believable thing ever. And then today, yeah, this cop got shot by somebody who should have been in jail. And then Dave's like, well, you got to remember, not every cop's good. No shit. Not every teacher's good. Not every cop is good. Not every fucking podcaster is good. You fucking dumbass.
Construction workers and
farmers.
Anybody.
Parking.
Okay.
Let's throw it out there.
Insurance salesman. I mean, do we want to do
Medical
this?
device salesman, yeah.
I didn't need any of that.
Shut.
Like, what a dumbass.
Okay. Listen, I hear you.
Yeah, so Dave just says dumb things, and Whitney doesn't know how to order a fucking steak.
Let's just cut the bullshit. So go ahead, then we'll cut the bullshit.
I thought Whitney made a good point about his like comparison about how the people who are having Sheldon's stance are very pro-vax. They're
not pro-vax, never will be, never have been.
Very hard stance on the steak. So it just
very pushy.
Curious.
Very pushy.
I have my booster card right here, taped up on the wall.
I already said I get shots every other week.
Okay, I'm not going to be.
All right, let's cut the bullshit. Get to what we were really here about: the Mayo and Jeff show. Sheldon,
where to start?
So today's show started out, and it was Mayo and Jeff D. Lowe, and I was excited for half of that, which was Jeff Lowe. And then Mayo's stupid fucking mouth started doing this, and he was talking, and I fucking hated it. I literally had to take a break in the middle of it because I couldn't stand his dumb voice anymore for about 20 minutes until somebody texted me what was going on. And they're like, well, catch up. And I was like, I need a little bit more time. And I know Kurt does this to punish us, but for the love of fucking God, can this be the last time? Like, you're going to have people start killing themselves. We don't need to hear about him ask about his fucking garden one more time. Oh, do you want a spot in my garden? No, I don't. If I wanted a fucking garden, I would plant one. I'm not going to drive to Putnam, Connecticut to share a garden with you, you stupid dipshit. Like, are you fucking insane? Mayo is literally in his own fucking world, where it's the goddamn Mayo show on the Kirk Minahan show. No, actually, it's the Mayo show featuring Kirk Minahan, because Mayo's just going to give his fucking opinion the whole time, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It is fucking asinine. He's not interesting. He's fucking annoying. And actually, he's a really bad person, but... He's actually Gus. He's a fucking liar too. He's like, well, Gus lies. He lies too. But we'll get that. No.
Okay.
Pat, I'll save my takes till the end. Pat, what were your thoughts on Mayo?
Pat,
traditionally, I know you
today?
Originally kind of threw some shade at Mayo earlier on, and then you kind of came around. But was today too much? Did he cross the line?
I blocked Mayo one of my first times in studio when Kirk was talking about him out of solidarity with Kirk. We blocked him together along with the show account. And I didn't have Mayo in my life for a while. Kirk unblocked him. I unblocked him. I think he's insane. Sometimes he makes me laugh. You never really know what you're going to get out of him. And like him, the craziest part about Mayo is today, he's like, I have friends in the Minifran world. Like you guys, Red. And he's like,
not you guys. Not you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Say
You can't blame him for that. You can't blame him for that.
Sorry. And he said, and then he's like, yeah, and Pat Ford. One of the last DMs I got from Mayo was him saying like, hey, I actually do have someone in Putnam that knows your uncle. I was like, me being stupid, and I told you guys this, me being stupid. I'm like, oh yeah, who? He's like, oh, he raped my cousin. We're not friends. I find
That's
him like
funny.
he's it is funny. It was funny. I was like, you fuck it. But he has a very weird brain that I don't really want to get too close to because I think like probably not now with kids and everything. But I don't think he's killed anyone, but I think he's like assisted in it, like kept it a secret. So I think he's definitely the same. But my final point, not my final, I'm sure we'll go on. But if you had a Mayo bingo card for today, you hit bingo in every single direction. It was Jeff at the ringer, being too nice, being overly nice to Jeff, the guard,
Erica.
dumb question, email Erica.
Oh, Erica's dad died. Well, so we're not gonna call her. Why would we call her? You fucking idiot! You fucking emailed her. We don't need to call her when she's mourning her dead dad.
Let me
talk about fucking Andy Morrison. That is the most dumb shit thing ever. Your name's on the internet. I don't. Let
me tie that in. So I've always been a day one Mayo guy, like very beginning. Just wait. I'm gonna mute you. Very beginning, I've been a day one Mayo guy, like from the Discord. I just thought he was funny, kind of quirky guy, kind of similar to me, to be honest.
Oh my god!
But he always, because I'll get to it later. Because we both think it's funny to like bring it back to ourselves. I think it's funny because I know it's like idiotic, it's stupid. I can be the butt of the joke. Mayo does it because he really truly believes like when the spotlight is on him, that's when the best content is coming out. But anyway, he always like he rides the line of annoying and quirky, endearing. And I've always thought him endearing, quirky.
Sorry. I just worked into the mic.
That didn't offend me like it did others. But today he wrote.
I honestly, I'm sorry.
Today he went just straight into annoying. Like yes. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because he didn't really have my back with other stuff. But the worm has turned. And I will get into it. Just like I used to get into Steve, I have a plethora of notes on Andy Mayo from today. So we will start. He went with the low-hanging fruit joke of Steve from Gloucester, which they were not even talking about Steve. And he had to bring up a joke, which I'm assuming was written. And the punchline was, Steve has a lisp. Like, we get it. It's funnier when Kirk does it because Kirk's funny. It is not funny when Mayo does it. And then Steve takes it personally, tweets something about it. And then Mayo gets mad that Steve took it personally. It's like, you made a terrible low-hanging fruit joke out of nowhere, and you're getting mad about it.
But he laughed about it like it wasn't a fucking joke.
Yeah, I do that.
You know why? Because he's fucking terrible at telling jokes because they're not jokes.
Speaking of jokes, he repeated a Kirk joke from the day before, saying that it was funny that Mutt only had a mild case of shingles. Like Kirk literally made the exact same joke the day before, and then he's repeating it, or he didn't listen because he admitted he doesn't listen to the full show. That was weird. I don't think that's actually what he meant, but he definitely said he doesn't like go back and always listen, and he misses stuff. So
yeah, because he's Andy Mayo. It's the fucking Andy Mayo show. Like he likes the Kirk Minahan show when it can get the spotlight on him, but he doesn't know everything that's going. Because he asked a million questions that he knew he would know the answers to if he actually fucking listened.
Yep. All right, I caught my breath. So he also tried to get calls for Jeff D. Lowe, but it was obviously because he secretly wanted to get calls about himself, saying how much.
Oh God, I wish it would have took calls. I wish it took calls.
He wanted to call Erica. You mentioned that. Okay, this is a good one. Mayo wanting to know exactly what needs to happen for Coleman and Justin to get fired. Like how bad does it have to go? He wanted in writing, basically. What are the things that need to happen at Portland so they get fired?
Yep.
The reason is because he wants to hold them to that. Bring like flashbacks to the Portnoy 5K. Like what are the requirements for this to happen? Because if they happen, I'm going to hammer it. These guys are getting fired. Like that's just Mayo 101. I can keep going.
Such an asshole question, by the way.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Using the excuse that he was hungry. I mean, come on.
That was crazy.
That
was
was
nuts.
terrible.
That was fucking
Terrible.
insane. He was in after that. He's never said that before. That was an excuse.
Terrible.
Douchebag. You fucking meant that. It wasn't a goddamn joke. You
I know
have said
Sheldon
that a
has
million
not seen.
times.
I know you haven't seen his stand up. When he is making a joke and he's getting the punchline, he makes it so obvious that, and he did not do that there, and it was not because he was hungry. The terrible excuse again, just terrible.
He knows what people shit on. He knows the running joke is, oh, Mayo's gonna ask 100 questions, so he dialed it up today, and it was a 1,000,000% overkill.
Okay,
But
this one was just
it's not even that. He's saying that, well, I was joking. I've been in here 3 times, except I've never had this excuse before, but now I have it because it took him fucking 2 months to think of it. It wasn't a joke, Mayo. Those fucking bonuses, you didn't want them to have. Oh, it was a joke. I was hungry. No, it wasn't. You have been in there already, and now everyone's calling you on it so many times that you think, well, it was a joke. I was hungry. Many of us have been hungry, have not just said stupid jokes, Mayo, you fucking dummy.
the worst thing he did was taking the spotlight away from Sheldon. Sheldon got his one shining moment when Kirk said, Sheldon's growing on me. And then Mayo had to turn it around on himself. Oh, I think I'm growing on Sheldon. And then I had to go back. Oh, see.
Which is
Mayo's
bullshit. Earlier in the episode, when Kirk's like, who's your least favorite Minifan? Oh, well, it's and then he got cut off. He was obviously going to say me, which I don't give a shit about. But then he was trying to save himself. So, I mean, this is all bullshit. It's a fucking Andy Mayo show. Andy Mayo, you are a fucking bigger liar than Gus.
Wow.
Fuck you.
Pat.
And I'll go back to I was one of the first ones. I'm not taking any credit for this. One of the first ones on the Erica Nardini email beat. Because it was one of his first times on, and this is what I was listening. I was like, I don't think I like this guy. And then it was Kirk and Dave. And Kirk made some joke like, and you reached out to Erica, or he said something like that. And Mayo's first thing he said was, I don't think I reached out to Erica. If you have to say that, you did.
Yeah, if you think you could have, yeah. And then he kind of backtracked with the call with Steve saying like, oh, I wouldn't have tried to get him fired. He literally said that episode when he called in at the end of the show, he was like, they asked him, would you get Steve fired? He said, yes, I would. That was
if somebody called me and be like, did you call Mark Cuban and try and get me fired? I'd be like, I wouldn't be like, well,
Mark Cuban.
Right. I don't think I did. You would fucking know. You wouldn't have to think about it. It's yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Did you call somebody about the fucking? He fucking knew because he did it, and then he was trying to play like, well, I don't think you fucking did, dumbass. It's unfucking believable. Oh,
Do you have connections to Cuban?
No,
I think he was naming others
because he's another liberal.
Keep up.
Douchebag.
This isn't Drips in the Office. We move fast here.
Sure.
Keep up with the jokes.
Cool.
So yeah, he talked about the spirited leadership joke with Mutt. Like it's kind of a funny play on words, I guess. But
I was going to hire Mutt and I was going to have him try whiskey, but it's not a bit.
This is the thing. It's like it's clearly a bit, but then he truly thinks Mutt would do it, and then he's offended that Mutt wouldn't want to do it.
No,
he's
it wasn't a bit. He doesn't do bits. He's serious.
He's addicted to bits. I'm a recovering bit addict. I would know. This man is addicted to bits.
This is great.
What a fucking asshole. I mean, and that was such a douchebag move to do to Mutt too, and be like, well, no, I'm being serious. Why are you being serious? Why are you bringing up drinking booze and shit? And then I was going to hire Mutt to do that, but it's not a bit. No, because you're trying to be Kirk. And then you're trying to burp into the mic, and then you're trying to do this, trying to do that. You're not Kirk. You never will be Kirk. You fucking wear khakis all the time, and you tuck your shirt in, and you just tell shitty jokes. You're not Kirk. You'll never be Kirk. So do your shitty seminars and fucking leave KMS out of it, dummy.
He'd be lucky to work for Mutt, not the other way around.
100%.
And that'll be a reality one day.
And Tim McCann, yep. And Gus, yep.
No, like
what a crew Mutt would have. Those were his 3 employees.
It's unfucking believable. Unbelievable. It was literally the Mutt show or the fucking. I'm so fucking mad. The fucking Mayo show, and then they kept trying to end it today, and then. Oh, Mayo, one more thing. Like, and I could just
that made me laugh. That was
like, it actually made me laugh. But you could tell Coleman and Jusser like, please,
Oh,
Let
that was
this
my
stop.
that was one of my favorite parts.
And then he would
Coleman-
ask
Coleman
some
and Justin
dumb
are like,
fucking
"Oh."
question again. It was unbelievable. Pat, what do you got?
Coleman's just back there. He's like, these questions are just fucking. These questions are just. Justin's like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Like usually when they have a shitty guest on and like they lean into it, they can kind of be like, what the fuck? Like I forget who that is exactly with Coleman, but you know who Coleman I don't think Coleman loves John and Warren. He said it a couple times.
Interesting.
I don't. Not good. That's my guy.
Honestly, even if he doesn't love John and Warren, he fucking hates Andy Mayo. So I mean,
1000%. But you could tell even them back in the booth, and like Jeff pointed out their expressions a couple times. They were like, no,
Body
this
language,
just is not working at all. Like they can play with bad guests, but not him.
What's funny is like 2 months ago, if you said, "Oh, we're gonna get," sorry, we keep doing this. If you're gonna get Mayo and Jeff in an episode, it's gonna be like a battle royale clash, right? But everyone was against Mayo. Is that Jeff couldn't even like get anything off that? No, like Coleman was going at him, Justin was going at him, Kirk was kind of playing along too. But so you kind of you wanted Jeff to really dig in. I don't know. I thought they were pretty friendly. Jeff, it was a good episode for Jeff. I'm kind of on the fence with Jeff. Like I think I like him. Like he likes the show, which I appreciate. He's not fake about that.
I'm a Jeff guy.
He's got a little bit of the chameleon thing that Mayo was talking about with Coleman, I think, where he kind of plays up what he wants people to hear. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm lukewarm on him.
I do like how he, even with the Shaddix today, like the Shaddix were right up. He's like, that's a blind spot for me. Like a lot of people would be like, oh, yeah, it's interesting and play it off. He's like, no, that's a blind spot.
Yeah, old stuff, he doesn't pretend it. He just kind of sits it out, which I do appreciate.
Also, when Kirk said that Justin's friend that annoys me in Foxborough, Mark, fucking Jeff D'Lo fucking lost his mind because he knew who Mark was. So, I mean, I'll give him that. He is a fan. And actually, I thought he was good on the show. And
the game was kind of vanilla, and Kirk saved it by making them write down.
It wasn't as good as gun to your head, gun to your head, gun to your head, gun to your head. We're gonna fucking kill you. Who is it?
Started off.
You had a gun earlier in the episode, and you don't have one now for this segment. There you
it's
go.
Right here. What a dumbass! Oh, gun to your head. We're gonna kill you. Him and his fucking asking questions like, oh, what's your last text you sent this person? That's not a game, Mayo. It's you being a fucking loser. Like
that was fine. I didn't have an issue with that. You're making me go back on Mayo's side. I don't like it. The reason.
Okay, minute friend.
No, we're not. We're minute complicated right now. The reason for the Mayo hate is I wasn't on the Steve episode where you and John were like blowing Steve, so I couldn't get off on my Steve notes. So I had to get my anger out on someone else. But I did like Jeff.
Jeff's the show that I actually showed up for. Yeah. Weird, right?
Showed up, sure.
Yeah,
you were there. Your body was there. Jeff talking about his weight loss and comparing himself to Christian Bale. That kind of went under the radar. Like Christian Bale gains weight 4 roles, loses weight 4 roles. And I'm not going to pick on someone, but Jeff's had his own issues he's talked about. But I don't know. That kind of went under the radar.
I wish it was that easy.
I love Jeff D'Lo. Jeff D'Lo, you can start following me and DMing me anytime. Montante is a terrible right winger. You don't have to take his calls, and you don't have to text him. I'm here. It's fine. He's a lunatic. Mayo sucks. Get them out of your life. Sheldon from North Dakota is here.
You know how Kirk, I think it was Monday, Kirk was talking about how Diana Natali would call him and he
sounded so hot in that voicemail. I'm leaving you a recording, but don't record me. What a dumb bitch.
But Kirk said he would just let her go on and on. Is that what the calls are like with Montante? Like you're just driving on what is
honestly,
it,
that cocksucker only called me today to aggravate me. He called me and I was like, what the fuck do you want? Because I was at work. He's like, I just want to say today's show with Mayo was the best show of 2024. It was great. And then he kept going on. And then I told him to go fuck himself. He's like, okay, have a good day. And then he hung up. And he just did that to piss me off. And I'm still pissed about it.
I think keep in mind, too, that I think this is somewhat the reaction that Mayo wants. So I think there is a part of him that's like, oh, this is going to get people riled up and talking about me. So I think there's a part of him that's like, I kind of got what I wanted. Like he's probably enjoying this thoroughly right now.
The mayor of Putnam, like when he goes out in his neighborhood, like he's
doesn't
the
mow
cool
his
guy.
lawn.
What an
no
asshole.
big deal. No big.
Fuck you.
You know, I don't read DMs on the show, but I have to read this one from Mayo today. How much money do you think KMS could raise if they said a certain total means I'd never be on again? Exactly your point, Pat. He wants the hate. He wants the hate. Yep.
Okay, well, we're
So I
done
love
talking
him. I
about
love
it.
him. I'm not
No, you
giving him
don't.
that.
No,
I'm
you
not
don't.
giving him
No, you
that,
don't. Stop it.
satisfaction.
Stop
Been a
it.
friend.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna block him again just due to the allegations today that triggered me to kind of the rat allegations that came with it. I think I have to block him for that.
Yeah.
This kind of
That's a good idea.
solidarity.
Pat. I'm gonna block Ziggy too after.
I
the
do have a
show.
take on that on the if
Oh,
and
God.
we'll save for the random notes.
Good
If you
luck.
want to go there now, that's fine. But
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not quite there yet.
oh jeez, okay,
Okay, so the live show was at Gritty's tonight.
yes,
I wasn't there, and none of you two were there.
I watched.
Did you?
35 minutes.
Okay,
It was
fine.
on YouTube. They put 35 minutes up.
So I saw somebody who has a podcast on the network say that it was terrible, and it was none other than somebody that Mayo likes, Cinnamon Lords.
What's up with this guy, by the way? Like that
So, like,
is he
what-
manic?
Yeah, so like
Something.
someone does a random show that you don't have to pay for 35 minutes. and
No, I
he's
think he was
filming
supposed to be
nothing.
on it. I think that's why he was mad. He was
Why
going.
would he be on it?
They said
Was
it.
his
They
fucking
said it today.
girlfriend's baby daddy on there? No one gives a fuck. No one gives a shit about Dylan. No one gives a shit about you fucking making glasses.
Who's Dylan?
Like, we don't give a shit, dude.
Baby daddy.
Like, you got a fucking random dumb accent that you're really fucking thick on, and we don't need to hear about Oppenheimer months later. Like, who gives a shit?
I think
like-
when Sheldon goes on a rant and he keeps going, he just pulls stuff that he doesn't care about, but he knows other. Like Kirk brought up that Oppenheimer thing, so Sheldon just threw it on the end of the rant.
But that was
They don't give a shit. No, Dylan is a guy he was in prison with. That was his best story because he was whispering sweet nothings to him, and then some other guy came
Forgot
in.
about that.
Yeah, oh, because it was a great episode. Some reason I remember it.
Sheldon, is that a drop seal? Is that the runner from a drop ceiling that you're smashing over your head?
No, it's a yardstick.
Oh, okay.
No, but that's the second like weird tweet he's had. He's like,
Yeah.
he basically said like the live show sucked. It was Kirk Minahan on stage for 35 minutes. Like, do me a favor, fuck right off. Like, there's a lot of us right now who are like hoping children don't wake up in the middle of the night who wish they could have been there. So take a seat. And then the second one was like I said, the first one was like, fucking Steve from Gloucester guy. They never invite me in, but they're always inviting me in. Like, buddy, you going through something?
Well,
like,
that's probably why he was mad because Steve was on the panel, and I think he was supposed to be on later.
he had a
Kirk,
tweet about
Kirk
that.
was
too.
the one that was like, "Yeah, let's just end it, Mike," and then Mike ended it right there.
Well, did Justin do the sound check for Gritty's? Because I didn't listen.
It sounded.
Was
It
good?
actually sounded good. It sounded.
Yeah,
fine,
it did.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, you're also in a packed bar full of drunk Minifans. So
No, it sounded fine. It did.
that wasn't what I was just saying. But
Well, what you were saying would have indicated the opposite, I think.
Right. Correct.
No, what I was saying was, did Kirk want to be there anymore?
Well, he had just gotten there, so
He was there for 5 to 10
it's hard to
minutes
recap
from what
something
I
you didn't
saw.
watch. So,
Of course, I didn't watch it. I was fucking busy.
Oh, you.
I was doing
You
work.
were working. You were working. Yeah.
Glad you're getting into that.
Dumbass. But I mean, holy shit, to go on the internet and be like, well, to complain about Steve from Gloucester, like these fucking assholes just did 35 minutes for free when they could have did 60. Like, what the fuck? Like, shut the fuck up, Cinema Lords.
All right.
You
enough
were there
Cinema
with a
Lords.
bunch
Keep
of other
going.
fans and you watched it for free. Who gives a shit, you dumbass?
Andy brought up Oppenheimer. I know he sucks.
Yeah, defend all your friends, Ziggy. Go ahead, your turn. Random notes.
Well, we can talk about Portland if you want. I mean,
Oh, talk about it. I'm not going to be there. I'm in fucking North Dakota, dude.
sorry to rub that one in. Yeah.
Asshole.
I'll be there.
Oh,
Back in the balcony. Oh,
Well,
I
when you
did have
listen to
some.
Drips when you listen to Drips in
Yeah.
the office, you'll understand my joke about why you're not going to be there.
Can I ask Pat? Is Parking Hero? Is that okay, or is that a no? To park up in Portland, is it okay to use that app, or do I need to? Is that like? I'm scared.
Well, you'll be fine.
It was $8.75. I'll get something else.
You'll be fine. I don't have a footprint up there, but I'm going down. I'm leaving at like 6 a.m. I have 4 garages that I have cut sheets on to finish up. And then I have 3 hotels to look at, a handful of business cards. So Ziggy, let me tell you something. Next year, you'll be parking with, I'm not going to say my company's name, even though people know it. You'll be parking with me. We would have had to cut that out, even though I think Mutt said it a bunch of times. Like, hey, you'll be fine. But I'm very excited for the show.
In Kirk's words, it's a fucking city. Fucking park. Like, you don't need anyone to tell you where to park. It's a city. Go park somewhere. Like, you can go anywhere and you can figure out where to park. You know, to be like, oh, where should I park? Well, park at the hotel. Well, I'm not staying there. Just fucking find a spot. Oh my God. Okay.
All right. I have 3 predictions.
Well, I understand the show only goes an hour, but it's the stupidest thing you've ever
we're going
said.
over
And
tonight.
yeah. That was the dumbest thing you could have ever said. Okay, go to the hotel. That's fine. Go to the hotel on a Saturday night in Portland, Maine, at a Kirk Minahan show when the garage occupancy only probably parallels what the hotel offers. So there's no spot. Great. Where are you going next? You have to think about this shit, Sheldon. We can't just park in farms.
I think we lost Sheldon.
No, I'm here.
You're frozen. You're frozen in your thoughts of contemplating something that Mayo would tell you to do. I have 3 predictions for the show. This is a bit, I will say that, but I have 3 predictions. One, this is not a bit. Steve will do something that's not very funny, but people will feel obligated to laugh at.
Steve
will obviously steal the show. That's also not a bit. He will steal the show. The dancing at Plymouth, right? The dancing at Plymouth was like, I can't get that image out of my brain. It's phenomenal.
It is great. Yeah.
And then Steve from Gloucester will leave with Casey Smith at the end of the night.
I hope so. I put a lot of work
That's
into
happening.
that proposal.
I
hope it works for him.
That is a lock.
Yeah, I think I really hope that pans out. Wouldn't that be like the most amazing thing of all time? Like the Minifan of the year, that he would win that if he bags Casey Smith somehow. Unbelievable.
I'd watch that. Hell, I might even pay.
Listen, I'll tell you something. I saw it right after that whole Casey Smith interaction. Like the other good-looking girl from Barstool, Megan Making Money, followed Steve.
I saw that.
What are we doing here? We'll take it.
Steve's a good guy. Hold on. What about Grace O'Malley?
So apparently Grace O'Malley's in a bunch of Minifan group chats. Like they just add her in there and she just doesn't leave. Okay, so like somebody added her as a joke once and she just stayed in and like people I guess are just adding her left and right.
Okay, hold on. I'll be back.
No,
keep talking.
Don't add her, please. Don't add her.
I don't need the whole.
All right. Let's get to random notes.
This wasn't random notes.
That was the Portland section. All right.
Okay.
The rat. I teased it earlier.
Okay.
I don't think there's actually a rat in the network. There's not actually a rat. However, there is one person, and I like this person, but there's one person in that group, and it's not Gig, that does not have a show on the network.
Don't say it. Don't.
They said they will have a show on the network, but Danny and Bill Ricca has yet to produce a show on the network or provide a show on the network. I like Danny. I don't want him to leave. I'm just pointing that out there. Justin also saying he knows it's not Beanbag Ron. However, Justin's not in the chat. So how does he know? Like, is Beanbag Ron giving him proof that he's not? And if he is that really him ratting it? Like, did he really out Beanbag Ron as the rat?
I don't think Beanbag Ron's the rat because all of Beanbag Ron's guys, the Menors, the Sneak, they've all turned on him. I don't think he'd be going back to them. I just think he has like a kind of I don't give a shit mentality. I think Justin said that because he's still trying to curry favor from randomly threatening to dox them.
Yeah,
on
that's
like
true. He felt a little bad.
I think that's why he's like, that's my guy. Like he would never. No, there's no rat. I mean,
there's no rat.
I don't even think it's Shattuck. Like I listened to Shattuck's podcast where he went on for like 10 minutes about how he wound up like offering his wife 2 Menors as like a sign of like peace. But I don't think Shattuck's dumb enough to do that. It was fun to make fun of him about it. But there's no rat.
Yeah, there's not a rat. It's Gig. So, okay, what's your next
one? Justin did a couple times this week. I don't know why this is a pet peeve of mine, but he sometimes talks about sports stuff that's like before his time, but he talks about it as if he lived it. Yeah, so like Patriots, he does a lot. And then he got outed because he didn't know like John Fox and he knew Andy Reid. Who was the other one? I don't even remember which one. He forgot. But they're talking about Foxborough and how much of a dump it was. And he was like, oh, yeah. Justin was like 5 when Foxborough closed down. There's no way his memories of it would be that it were that bad. And then I think it was Mike asked, he's like, was Pete Rose like a star? And Justin immediately was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kirk was like, no, not really.
They didn't really have that dynamic back then.
Yeah.
It was more.
So, I don't know. That's a little pet peeve. More to come on that, I suppose. But yeah, he jumps the gun.
I have a random thought about Justin too. I like Justin a lot, but Justin's starting to show signs of like the old Justin pre him quitting in the 29K. Like Kirk would say anything to him and be like, "Nope, you're right, 100%. Like that's it. Yep, I'm wrong. I apologize." Now he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's starting to give like kind of attitude back, and it's like be a real person, I guess. But it's almost like a sign of him like soon just being like, "Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to do this." I hope not. I like Justin on the show.
I think he's nervous for this weekend. rightfully so, I suppose.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do fine. My last prediction on a live show was that Gus was gonna figure out the year end. I thought he was going to do a good job with that, so I don't want to jinx anyone here. But you got to also factor in too, the Portland show is handled. All the audio stuff's handled by Portland.
Right.
Like they did a really good job the first time. I'm sure there's some stuff video production wise that they might not. They have room to fuck up, but it feels like it's almost teed up for them. But I would be nervous too.
Yeah, the one thing I've always that sounds like a Mayo thing. I always say this. After the Plymouth show, especially with the bad audio, but I've thought this at previous shows. When you have videos, you really should have subtitles. And I think, if I remember right, at Papagino's, the Coleman table, and again, I just want to on record, I did trademark Coleman, and it is Coleman is the plural. The Coleman table, we did bring that up to Coleman. Like at Plymouth, it went bad because it was hard to hear the videos. Put subtitles. So I am curious to see if that happens. Because that like people I mean, it's not even an audio thing. It's like you're making a video for people to laugh. People are gonna laugh, then you can't hear the next thing. God, I sound like Mayo. Okay, let's move on. Mike. Oh, okay. So this one's for Red. I know this irked him. I believe Kirk said that Flava Flav was in Run DMC. I know Flava Flav from Flava of Love. But Red wanted me to correct the record. He was not on Run DMC. I think it was. It'll come to me. NWA. I think it was NWA.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that one, but yeah. So
what is that?
Kirk was wrong.
What does Run DMC stand for?
Couldn't tell you.
NWA.
I have no idea.
Well, I can't tell you, but I'm not going to tell you. Mincy
Like,
could tell you.
Mincy
could tell you.
I literally don't know any rap groups.
Well, I mean that's Bible because I remember Red's top 5 when this thing first came back.
That's why I'm saving the rant for next time. I don't want.
Yeah, I think Red's was Eminem, or Vanilla Ice.
I think Nas made the cut. I think Nas was in there. He did mention P. Diddy as a write-in, which I thought was weird.
No, it wasn't rapper. It was like best humanitarian or something for P. Diddy.
Something like that. Yeah. Make-A-Wish. I think he does a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff.
Yeah. Kirk was talking about, I think it was a couple weeks ago, but then he brought up again how Cullinane prepping for Portland was like Belichick compared to Justin and Coleman. So I have to ask, in that analogy, who is Justin and Coleman? I'm going to throw out some. Sheldon, this is for you. Are Justin and Coleman like a Brad Childress, a Mike Tice, a Leslie Frazier?
I don't
have an O'Connell.
You piece of shit. You piece of shit. I didn't look up shitty coaches from your teams. Why would you look them up from mine?
Those are just off the dome. I didn't look those up.
Oh, you're fucking liar. No one's like them because they were terrible. Okay. I'm not doing this. I'm not participating in your mind games. Keep going. More random notes.
Do you have anything, Pat?
No, you covered most of my topics. Let me think. Sheldon, you go. I gotta check. I gotta think.
Leslie Frazier did. Nah, I'm not even gonna go all this. I'll get canceled if we're on YouTube. Never mind. Keep going.
Of all the Minifans that we know, of everyone in the world, who's gonna be the first asshole that screams out from the stands tomorrow? Like bringing everything to a standstill. Because every time like somebody screams something out, Kirk will be like, "Who the fuck's that guy?"
I mean, betting odds is obviously Kevin from Bristol.
BA.
Yeah.
He's from Canada. He doesn't have manners.
He'll already be drunk.
He doesn't know how the world works. Yeah. It's BA.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'll ride with that one too.
Yeah.
Looking forward to tonight for those listening. There is a chance that Red and I are going to do a post-show emergency recap. We will see. If we do, it will be from my car. So it'll be interesting.
Heck yeah.
No promises, but
live from the Mercedes.
Something lucky. Like that, yeah. Something with an M. Live from the 2005 Toyota Matrix.
Docs. Yeah. All right, boys. You got any other thoughts from this week?
Feel better, Mutt. That's all I got.
Feel better, Mutt.
Love you, Mutt.
The kingle of the shingle.
Not mild. My sources are saying not mild, very serious.
I hope he's there tomorrow night. Wouldn't it's going to be the worst case scenario if Mutt's Mutt.
Oh boy.
That's nothing against him. I just have blabbermouth sometimes. If he rolls in, we all have a great time. And on like Monday, like 20 people wake up with shingles and just gave it there.
Oh, I was going to ask, are you afraid with your wife? Like, are you afraid to shake his hand? Or is that's worth the risk, right?
Yeah, it's worth the risk.
So that's
All right, boys.
all right.
We made it through this week.
Barely.
See you guys.
All right. See ya.
See ya.